Hi beautiful creatures, today I'm gonna show you how to do seedlings using this scary device that's called the soil cube mold, and also some other things that you can easily find in your house, like the container from the eggs or the toilet paper rolls. So to do this, we just need some compost soil that you can buy in a shop. You need a crate or a box. You might also want to use a little bit of cardboard just because it retains the moisture when you're watering the seeds, and also it takes away the excessive moisture. So we just line our box with it. Why do we do seeds like that? The point is that this way you can see the seed growing before you put it in the ground, and you can do a bunch of them, different ones, and then just plant them when you want to. This way you could also check if the seed is still working, because you put it in the ground, you maintain it in this small tiny container, and then when it's ready to be seeded in the ground, you just take it out of the container and you place this cube with the plant into the ground. I think that's it. Now we can start. Now I will show you how to do it, first using this tool and then the smaller one that is just like that. It's very easy, but it looks quite scary if you've never done it. And then I'm going to show you how to do it using this, which is very self-explanatory, but just in case you don't have this tool, this is easy. We start by pouring a bit of water into our compost. Just so we could mold the things better, because otherwise if it's too dry it's gonna fall out and it would not retain the shape. You just take a bunch of soil and you just squish it in. Make sure it's quite tight, because otherwise it's going to fall apart. So now we just take it and we are going to slowly release it. Look at that, on the first try. Now we just need to choose the seed we want to plant in here. Let's go with beans for today, because they're quite big seeds, so you guys can see it better. So we just take our magic beans and we put them into the soil. And then you take a little bit more of the soil and you just cover them on top. You have to make sure they're always moist, otherwise it dries out and the seed can't grow. I'll show you the same principle with the lil seeds. This is the device we're going to use. Same principle, just fill this thing up with the soil. This one is a bit trickier just because it's so small, but just take your time with it. And now we take this device again and we just release them just like we did with the big one. And look at that, they didn't even get stuck. Let's plant some paprika in here. I can just feel the soil taking moisture out of my hands. It's quite a bizarre feeling. So we take our tiny little seed and we try to put it in the hole. You can use a toothpick for smaller seeds if you need to, but my fingers are quite small, so I'm managing to grab onto them. Just cover the seeds again with the soil so they don't dry out. So we take our carton for eggs and we just cut out the edges that we don't need. Just cut the lid off. I mean, you can rip it off if you can't be bothered. So why this device is better in a way, because we just take the cubes out and then it's just a bunch of soil in our hands and we can just plant it directly into the ground. With this thing, you have to take the plant out and sometimes you might damage them, but if you're careful enough, it's not a big deal. So it's totally up to you. But if you were to use this method, you just use this as a tiny little container to start the growth of your seed. So you take soil and you put it directly into the carton. And just like before, we hide them under the soil. Just tuck them in so they're not scared to grow. And if the soil feels too dry, just add a bit of water on top of it. This is the hack that we found on Pinterest, which I thought you guys could like to use because everyone has toilet paper rolling around. Okay, so we just cut 4 cuts through the bottom of the toilet roll. And we just put them inside like that, just push them in, and we have our container. It's not very stable right now, but once you put the soil into it, it's going to be better. What's good about this one is that you can easily chop around it when you need to get the plant out, or you can just put some water on it and it's going to disintegrate quite easily. Let's just put a couple beans so you can actually see them. So yeah, you just put the seeds right in and then you cover them once again with the soil on top. And if you need to, water it, depending on how moist your soil is. Don't let them dry out. Don't forget to label your little seeds so you don't forget which one is. You can use cork or you can use clay for it. Just be creative, use whatever materials you have around yourself. And we'll show you next time how we did our labels for our garden. So guys, I hope you try this and I hope it works for you. So here I just wanted to show you our plant in progress. It used to be a tiny little weed. Now look how massive it's grown and is going to be ready to plant in the ground soon. We are going to build a structure for it because this one is a climbing one. So it's going to be ready to put in the ground soon. And you can see we used an old container from yogurt for this. Anything really works as long as you can put a hole in it so the excessive water drips out of it. And I find it to be quite a meditative experience because you get your hands dirty in the ground and you can listen to some music. Just choose whatever music makes you happy and just listen all the way through. Put something nice on for the seedlings because they really need nice, lovely vibrations near them as well. And yeah, just, you know, breathe and just focus on what you're doing and it's going to be great. And you're going to enjoy some beautiful vegetables later on. And thank you for watching and I hope we can see you next time.